Hey guys, it's Steez. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're wondering why I'm in full glam and full face of makeup, with a flashlight on me, it's because this is the fourth installment that I've been anticipating and been planning for you guys. Not really planning. It's like it actually happened to me. So I mean, I didn't have to really plan it. It's just more of like a story time about the paranormal and my conspiracy theory series. But I guess we will take it from the top. Okay, the fourth installment of my five-part conspiracy / paranormal theory series has to do with ghosts, and my first and only encounter with ghosts ever since then. I mean, I've never had an encounter with a ghost since that moment, if that makes sense. So okay, I guess the best way to start this is, I've mentioned my best friend Shelby before. We are like, basically when we hang out, it's like we're Will and Grace, if that makes sense. Like, to get a frame of reference of, like our relationship, you know, like we're like the yin and yang, and, we, complete each other's sentences, and, you know, would eat and drink after one another, and, to this day, like, you know, she lives in South Carolina, but that's beside the point, because, you know, we still keep in touch, and our relationship is set in stone, and it's something that time shifts and glitches and things of that nature can't affect. But okay, so you know, Shelby and I have both always been, you know, and I made sure that you know, I got her permission to tell her side of the story, you know, and made sure that like she remembered it the same way that I did before posting this video, or filming this video. I mean, but no, she remembers it the same way, so that's why, like, I mean, that was even more validation for me that it wasn't just like, you know, like my 14-year-old self memory. But no, so you know, it was our freshman year in high school, but it was the summer before our freshman year in high school, if that makes sense. But we were both yeah, so I was 13 and she was 14, because she's my birthday's in June and her birthday is in April. So yeah, just to paint a little bit more of a picture of you guys, because whenever I do a story time, especially of the spooky nature, I like to give you guys a little bit of like a visual frame of reference, if that makes sense. But yeah, we both always, like, Shelby and I have both always really been interested in the paranormal and like freaky things like that, and just researching it, and you know, using Ouija boards and having seances and stuff, like with just the two of us, and lighting candles, the whole thing. And you know, like okay, so it all started in like I had in our house that burned down whenever I was 16. It was the same house or whatever, but it was a huge house. It was like 7,500 square feet. It had a pool. You know, my parents were awesome, so they gave me the biggest bedroom. It was the one that had like an ensuite bathroom. And it had two huge like walk-in closets, because it's the master bedroom. But like I was like really responsible and the oldest kid, and like there were two ensuite there were two master bedrooms, just one with two closets, and they gave me the one with two closets. One because it had the most clothes, and two just because you know, I'm a diva, and I have a lot of stuff, and they were nice that way, and they were kind enough to do so. So like Shelby and I, like, there was this one closet that like had all my clothes in it and everything that I kept for school, my books, my backpack, etc. And then the other closet was just like you know, filled with like you know, like it had my dirty clothes hamper, just like little collectibles, Beanie Babies, stuff like that. But so that's where like the reason why I'm trying to paint the picture for you guys is because that closet in question, the one that like wasn't my main closet, like there was something about that closet from the moment that like that bedroom became mine and I moved into that house. You know, like I never slept with that closet door open. I always made sure that it was closed, always. And there was always a feeling of being watched, even if the closet door was closed. And Shelby always thought so too. And like we could never like we always like tried to like fall asleep before the other one, so like, you know, the one of us wouldn't have to be awake longer or be awake the longest, if that makes sense, because it was that real, and it was that scary, and it was that intense, and it was that much of an evil presence. And when I say evil, I mean fucking evil, an evil presence. And so like, okay, the first time that we did a seance or whatever, and it's not that we're like, you know, atheists or devil worshippers or practice witchcraft, it's just like we were 14 and we just wanted to see if it's real. I mean, like we neither of us had ever had a paranormal encounter with a ghost or or spirit, an entity, apparition, whatever you want to call it, like that had never happened to either of us. So we just wanted to see if it was actually possible, and if like ghost shows and people were just reaching and it was all bullshit. But it turns out that it wasn't. You know, like we did the seance, and we lit like 3 candles, and like we made our own Ouija board, which they say which at the time we did some research. Um, you know, I had a Razor phone at the time, so I googled it on my Razor phone. So that's how long ago it was. But yeah, so I googled it, and it said like if you make your own Ouija board, you're more likely to make a connection, like because it's a personal thing that you made with your own hands, if that makes sense. And so we did so. Like we got this like cardboard box and cut it up, and you know like you know, wrote out all the letters and numbers and the yes and the no, and we made our own planchette out of cardboard. It was triangular shaped with like a circle in the middle that we cut out, and it actually like was pretty cool. But I mean, that's also something that we lost in the fire. You know, it's like one of those things we lost in the fire. But so we light the candles, we're sitting there and stuff, and we're asking the Ouija board questions, and we both have our fingers on the planchette, you know, like, you know, like this is her hand, this is my hand, we're on the planchette, you know, we're not doing anything, we're just asking questions and stuff, and, you know, all of a sudden, like, it moves and stuff, and we didn't ask any questions, like, we're just sitting there and just talking about, like, entities and spirits, and, all of a sudden, like, the planchette goes like this, to the left, like, and we're both looking at each other, and we both have that whole, like, you know, it was that whole, like, did you do that, did you do that, did I do that, like, who did that, like, come on, whatever. So, like, we both take our hands off of it, and, needless to say, chill-inducing even now, the planchette began to move on its own. The triangular-shaped planchette moved on its own, and just, like, spelled out the word hatred, Hatred, and it did it, like, I mean, it did it, like, in normal speed, but, like, at the time, it was, like, in slow motion. It was like we were watching a movie, we were watching, like, a horror movie, but, like, through our own eyes, and, we were petrified, and it's like, you know, we were old enough to, like, not go wake up my parents or anything, but, like, we were, like, still young enough to be, like, oh my god, like, we're gonna die, like, what does this mean? Like, we don't, you know, we didn't know, so, like, we immediately, I personally, like, flipped over the Ouija board, and we left the closet immediately. Like, it had a pull cord for the light in the closet, and so I pulled the cord, we turned off the light, we slammed the door, and just got in the bed, got under the covers and stuff, and just, put on, like, whatever it was, I don't know, The Simpsons, Family Guy, something of that nature. It was a cartoon, I remember that, but, so we're just, like, we're trying to, like, forget about it, and so, like, we talk and stuff through the night, and we fall asleep, and, you know, I'm not really sure. It's been years, but I don't know how long exactly we had been asleep. But I just remember Shelby nudging me and like not saying anything, just nudging me, and I remember just being like, what? And she was like, Steven, shut up. There's something's moving in the closet. Like, I mean, but way quieter than that. Like, she was like, something's moving in the closet. Like, oh my god. And so, like, you know, I'm in panic mode. Like, I'm in fight or flight all of a sudden too, and I'm like, okay, so what do we do? Like, I mean, do we go investigate it? Do we wait for the entity to come out of the closet? Do we go to the closet? I don't know what to do. And she, you know, she's like, you're the boy. Like, you go look. Like, go look. I mean, what if it? Go look, please. It could be a burglar. It could be an intruder. And I'm thinking, Shelby, like, I mean, it's the closet. You know what I mean? Like, there's no entry point other than like through my bedroom. And a window, and no windows were broken or opened. So I mean, it's like there wasn't a burglar, obviously. But you know, being, I guess, the boy and the friendship that I was, or whatever, you know, I took it upon myself to go into the closet and look, and everything in my closet that I had aforementioned was toppled over. Like my dirty clothes were all over the place. Some of them, there were shelves lining the entire rectangular shaped closet. It was probably like 4 by 6, like 4 foot wide, 6 foot long. Each of the closets, but this closet in question, some of the clothes were even up on the shelves. And whenever I opened the door, the pull cord was moving, like was swaying back and forth. And the light wasn't on or anything, but I mean, obviously, like, the commotion had just happened, like something had just happened in there, and I don't know what it was. You know, so a few weeks pass, you know, nothing happens. It's the weekend again. So Shelby spending the night. She would usually spend the entire weekend, especially during the summer. She basically lives with me, for like our entire high school career, pretty much, like give or take a couple years or a year or two. But so the next time that it happened, she was also there. But the next time that it happened, um, we were totally done with the whole seance thing, the whole like trying to conjure up anything thing. We were like we were done with that. But like we're just watching TV, and like out of left field, out of the blue, like your worst fear that came our worst fears came true. And I screen grabbed like the closest apparition, like even if it's CGI from a movie, I don't care, like on Google, like to put in the thumbnail for this video, just to paint you guys a picture of what we exactly saw creep towards our bed, creep towards the bed that we were in, my bed that she was in with me. But I mean, it was like, it was as tall as my ceiling, and we had like at least 10 to 12 foot ceilings. It was a really tall, it was a really big house and had really tall ceilings. It was as tall as the ceilings. It was black. It was see through. It was foggy. It was hazy, but it had like these piercing, glowing green eyes. And I mean, it walked towards the bed probably for like maybe a fraction of a second, but for that fraction of a second, it felt like an eternity for us. And I mean, to this day, it's something that we talk about. I mean, like for instance, like 2 months ago, we had an hour-long conversation about like how still to this day, like we both have nightmares about it, and how we tell people about it at parties and stuff. And no, it's just luckily that was the last time that it happened. But I mean, seeing a ghost and not knowing what it is, and not being aware of parallel realities and alternate dimensions and parallel dimensions and things of that nature at the time, being like, what the fuck was that? Had I known now if I had known then what I know now, I would have looked at it completely differently, and I would probably have thought that it was something to do with the simulated experience that I believe that we live in. But have you guys had an actual encounter with an apparition or a spirit or a ghost, or the terminology is up in the air, an entity, anything of that nature? Let me know. Because this is something that has it defined my childhood in a way, and it's changed my perception on things permanently, even into adulthood, even up until now. But please comment down below. Let me know. I will the last installment of my 5-part conspiracy theory series will be posted around the same time tomorrow. As this one is going to be posted today, whenever you guys are able to watch it. And like I said, I'm going to show you guys the closest example to what Shelby and I saw in the thumbnail to this video. But what does Steez love again? He loves his cheeseburgers, you guys. Why do you keep forgetting?